Right, hello, yes, I'm doing another video in less than a month. It's absolutely insane, but this is one I've been trying to organise for fucking weeks since it was announced, and then another friend of mine has announced the competition, as you know in the title of this video, and I thought I'll mix them two together. So we've got Simon, the legend Pieface, and the Eggman himself, Kris, who's in a bazillion bands, Ferum, Green Saber, which you can probably hear in the background with the Christmas Tree album, which we've got on now. And yeah, he's in Crow's Blood, another black metal band. Talented bastard. So yeah, they're both doing competitions to reach little milestones. I think Simon's is to do with so many subs, and Kris's is also to do with, I think, 200 subs, which is great. I mean, these two guys aren't taking YouTube very seriously. I've known these guys for absolutely ages now. Simon, I got to know from starting this channel. He's been a very strong supporter of everybody who does YouTube videos, and he's such a lovely bloke. He's introduced me to fucking tons of unique bands, especially the weird gore grind ones. He likes to really send me the most extreme shit no one's going to like, and I love all that because it's hilarious. And when I die, my kid's going to go through his collection and go, what the fuck did my dad used to listen to? So I love all that. And then Kris, I'm known for a fair old while in the kind of underground band scene. He's in a band, I'm in a band, you get talking. And yeah, I've now finally met him in the flesh. He's a lovely bloke. Very short though, I thought he'd be taller. But yeah, really nice guy. I hanged out with him in Plymouth. And no doubt we'll hang out future loads more. So this is a competition. Like I said, you can win prizes. I love prizes, I won't pretend I don't, but it's more about supporting these guys because these are good friends of mine who have supported me, and it'd be rude not to support them back. So hence why there's another video from me for a change. You know, I try and do competitions, but they are really hard to organise with the shit that goes on in real life. So they are centered around certain questions. So Simon is doing Blood and Goats, so all the albums I'm going to show for him are Bloods and Goat covers that I've dived in the collection. And then Kris has gone a bit more formal and gone for some like really thoughtful questions and wants me to talk about my life and all that shit. So hopefully you'll get something out of this video, but if not, just go and support them guys. Don't give a fuck about me, go support them. Their channels are linked below. Really lovely blokes. Anyway, so Simon, to start off with, the Pieface man, wants a goat cover, and I thought I'd pick out Belphegor. These guys are awesome. I've seen these guys live only once, and they have more merch than Kiss. They are insanely cool good dudes, really friendly, and very intimidating when you see them on stage. They look like they're dead, and the singer as well, he's a big bastard as well. Really cool band to look at visually. And also cover work. This was done via AI generated, so I know a lot of people don't like that, but it's done by the singer from Septic Flesh, and I love his kind of artwork. Even though it is AI generated, it looks cool. And yeah, there it is there with a nice goat. There they are on the back. Like I said, look how intimidating he looks. Now imagine seeing that in the flesh, and he's got like the fucking nails on his guitar and everything. It's really cool. But this is a really good album as well. I think this is not the latest one, it's the one before that one. 2014 this came out. So yeah, some Belphegor, some evil satanic music. Now Kris has asked his first question, which is, tell me 2 albums of you love that have formed your musical personality and taste. So as you know, I am the deaf doom metalhead on here, even though I didn't call myself that because I'm in a deaf doom band, but my musical kind of starting point was nu metal, if I'm brutally honest, but it hasn't really shaped me because I kind of liked Korn. And then as I've got older, that kind of has waned. I still like them as a nostalgic kind of listen, but they're not influenced at all with my music tastes. But the ones that really influenced me and that have kind of stuck with me to this day, since I was like 13, probably younger than that, is Judas Priest. This album, especially British Steel, I adore this album. I had the 30th anniversary and the 40th anniversary versions in my collection. The 30th one I had a girlfriend who bought me as a teenager, and I've lost all the little bits and bobs to it. I still have the DVD and CDs, but over the years that's disintegrated. But a friend of mine a few years ago gave me the original press on vinyl. Now I'm collecting vinyl. This is years ago now, but yeah, he fucking did me a solid, and I absolutely love this album. All bangers, no filler. Everyone knows this album. Everyone knows at least one song off this album. It's like the pinnacle, and my kids all know it now. It's like the starting point for heavy metal. If you're gonna like anything in heavy metal, it has to be this verse. I know people love Maiden, and they're all right, but Judas Priest are the tips for me. Put that down there. And then the next one, which is probably most people already know, is this album here by Candlemass. Now I remember hearing this when I first started my first proper job at work, way back in probably 2007, I think, something like that, 2006. And I heard this for the first time, especially the title track, and it completely changed my outlook on heavy metal and what I like about heavy metal. I love chuggy, slow riffs, ridiculously catchy, heavy solos. Lars Johansson on here is an absolute god on the guitar for me. He's an amazing guitar player. Then you've got Matt, the other rhythm guitar, kind of laying it down. Even though all the riffs are written by the bass player, they are a guitar heavy band for me. And the vocals by Messiah kind of reminded me of Ozzy Osbourne. I loved Black Sabbath when I first heard this, but it was heavier and more epic, and it just clicked with me instantly. And all their first 5 albums are absolute gold for me, and then they kind of wane a little bit as they go on. But the Candlemass for me is one of those bands I'll always love. I've never seen them live, annoyingly. One day though, one day. So yeah, Candlemass. I'll try not to run on too much. Now back to Simon with his blood themed covers now, and I've gone for this box set. I don't think I've ever shown this on here. This is the Blood Red Throne primitive. Is it just called Blood Red Throne? Yeah. This is the first album I ever got by these guys when I saw them at Bloodstock back in 2014, and I needed merch from them. I needed the merch, and all they had was, I wanted to get a t-shirt, but to get the t-shirt I had to buy this box set. I didn't even have a record player back then when I bought this. This is actually the first record I think I ever bought. I think it is actually, yes. And this is the first one I ever bought, and I didn't even have a record player or anything. I just needed it. Put out through Severed Records. This is like, it was so good live, and it instantly made an impression on me to support this band, and I have ever since. Some of the stuff's not in here. There is a signed poster that has been on my wall for fucking donkey years now. It has a Blood Red Throne lighter. That probably doesn't work. I don't smoke, and I'm absolutely useless at using lighters. A dog tag if I really wanted some more street cred in my life. I believe there was a guitar pick in here, but I don't know where the fuck that's gone. That's long gone. And then it is red vinyl. This is the self-titled album. I forget what year this even came out. I want to say like 2013, 14. I don't know. But yeah, a great album. It's got Bolt on vocals. It sounds heavy as fuck. You know, what's not to like? I even had the drummer who then became in Aeon, if you know that band. He was on this album, played live, and he's a phenomenal drummer. So yeah, I have my Blood Red Throne box set. Not many people have ever got this or even seen this. So yeah, woo, go me. Anyway, right, next question by Mr. Kris is 2 bands whose second album is your favourite of their discography. And that was a nice easy one. So the first one is German Funeral Doomers Ahab with their what's this called? The Divinity of Oceans, the second album. The song Tombstone Carousel, every time, is what Ahab is for me. That song alone is it. And O Father of Sea, that's another really good one. And Gnawing, is it Bones? Yeah, Gnawing Bones. Brilliant album. I fucking love it. I mean, a bazillion bands have used this piece of art for their cover work. So it's kind of confusing if you look this up just for the picture, because you won't find it. But yeah, I love this album. Fucking proper heavy. They've got a bit soft over the years, but they're still good. They're still good. And then this one, this is a more modern album, but it's one that I would point to my love of black metal being as it is now. I've always known about black metal for years and years and years, but this album kind of made it click for me all of a sudden, and then I've gone down. I couldn't care how rough it sounds now. I can actually listen to it. He's amazing. Afsky, his second album, whatever that's called, down there. Again, it's the classic art paintings. I don't know why, with covers with classic art paintings, I always check them out. And this was the same. I only ever checked this out purely because of that cover. And I thought, that looks fucking miserable. I love miserable music, so I'll give it a go. And it's just absolutely gorgeous album. The harmonies, the riffs on it, the way it captures the emotion, it's just bleak and horrible, and I love it. So if you've never checked that out, I'll leave a link below to all these little albums I'm talking about, as I always do, because you get something out of it, right? But yeah, that is a gorgeous black metal album if you've never heard that. Now back to old Mr. Pieface, another blood cover here. I thought I did it goat blood, but I don't actually have that many goat kind of themed album covers, which is unusual when you think about what heavy metal is and that. But yeah, anyway. Ceremonial Bloodbath. This is a Canadian blackened death metal band with the Fiend in Blood, as you can see there. The reason I picked this one is purely because of the band name, and the cover is a bit red. But the band name of the musicians is what made me laugh every time. Like, the drummer is called Nuclear Hammer Throne, and then you've got on vocals Faceless Affinity, on bass the Nocturnal Black, and then on lead guitar Abysmal Berserker. So there you go. Look at how fucking hard as nails they are. But yeah, I haven't really listened to this in absolutely ages, so I might give this a spin after this video. I like it, but I haven't spun it a lot. It's just one of those ones you find cheap, I think, on Amazon at the time, and you thought, oh yeah, I'll buy that, that's a bargain, not really knowing what you're going to get. Because I'm collector scum. I don't do that anymore these days because money's scarce, but back then, whoa, rolling in it during lockdown. Right, next two from Mr. Kris. So 2 albums I did not like at first, but then I grew to love. So I had to really think, because I'm quite precise in my thinking on music. If I don't like it, I know that pretty quickly, and if I do like it, you know, it's an easy bet. Like, you'll pick bits of albums out and then you piece it together, and then over time you grow to love it more. But these two were really hard for me when I first picked them up, or first heard them, shall I say. Back in my like LimeWire and YouTube days of college and stuff like that, where you'd watch bands live because YouTube was a new thing that you could do that. But this band, I remember listening to Rise to Ruin, their first album, and I went back and checked out their discography, and then I checked out this one by Gorefest, Soul Survivor. Thought it was absolute dog shit. Could not believe what I was hearing, that this was Gorefest. Like, I thought, how have they gone from, I think it was Rise to Ruin, then I went back to Mind Loss, the very first album, then I checked out False. I loved all that. I thought brutal, heavy. Got to this, I thought the cover looks a bit naff, and musically it's nothing like what they you know, what I knew Gorefest to sound like. But it's more of a Thin Lizzy album with Cookie Monster on vocals. But the ironic thing is, now I absolutely love this album. Like, I love all their albums, pretty much the same. Like, I know, even just reading the track titles, I know the riffs, I know the songs, like Electric Poet, Dog Day, Dragon Man, Demon Seed. Like, I can hum them all in my head, you know, I know them off by heart. But at the time, could not believe how shit this album was in my head. Like, complete polar opposites of what I thought Gorefest should sound like. So that's that one. And then the other one is Mayhem's De Mysterios blah 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 blah. Everyone has this in their collection if they're a black metaler, and everyone knows the history of this band and all the craziness that went on. But when I first checked out Mayhem was on YouTube way back when I was in, I think, college, around 2005, and there was a live walk-in video of the singer, and he had these like blades on his hand, and he was slicing a pig's head in the crowd. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. And they were doing Freezing Moon. And I just thought, what on earth is that? One, it terrified me. Two, it was fucking weird music I didn't understand, because back then I was still in my development of heavy metal, so it was much, I knew the kind of heavy metal classics, and I was just getting into Doom, being a big Slayer fan at the time, and Metallica, and then Korn, you know, all I knew was that kind of stuff. And then this was just like completely alien to me. Like, the way the guitars were played, the vocal style, the drumming, everything was completely alien. And I didn't get it, but visually it made a massive dent in my brain. Like, I wanted to check it out more for the more macabre side of things. And then now, fast forward to now, this is a classic. I love listening to this. It's great. I can listen to their demos of really raw shit, and I love it. It's just completely weird now when I look at this. And like, my musical taste is, as the older I've got, I'm 35 now, and it's just so different to when I was younger. So funny. The older you get, the more, I won't say wiser, because I'm not wise at all, I'm an absolute tit, but I think about music very differently to what I used to think it like. Like, when I watch my kids and how they listen to music, I remember myself being that way, and it's quite funny, especially my oldest son. His opinions on music is hilarious. So that's that one. And then another one with gore on it. I went with this one because it is a fucking gory album cover for Mr. Pieface. Old Skinless with Savagery. I love that cover. I always will love that cover. It's such a cool cover. Album's alright, but the cover is fantastic. It's even got a Crowbar cover on here, Som, and I love Crowbar, so that was quite cool. I think these guys are based either out in New York or somewhere around that area. And as you can guess, they play brutal death metal in that kind of old school way, not the modern way. So yeah, Skinless. And then last question from Kris was 2 things that you hate about collecting in the modern day. So I always remember buying CDs in like Virgin Megastore, HMV when I was young. I used to have cassettes really long time ago when Woolworths was a thing in the UK. I'd always used to buy the singles when they came out. But now, if I try and buy anything when I'm out and about, it's nearly impossible. One, I'm married. So if I ever even think about buying music, it's literally like a fucking court case. And, you know, and fair enough, you know, we have bills to pay, mortgage and all that shit. But it is literally like CSI treatment. So I'm nowhere near as wild as I used to be. And as you could probably guess, space-wise, it's getting there now. This room isn't very big in real life. It looks bigger on camera than it really is. Like if I spin this around here, you've got my CD racks are completely full, so I need new CD racks. Cassette ones, luckily they're 3D printed, so I can print them off as I want, and I can add to them. But eventually that wall will run out, you know, and then I'm going to have to move into the kids' playroom when they're older and kick them out. But the thing that annoys me the most about collecting, especially as an older adult, is literally the, what did I write down? Shipping costs, but that's mainly due to the way the world is nowadays. You've got fucking, if I want to order something from America, for example, like just a small cassette, you know, I'll turn that down a little bit. Small cassette, it's like over 12 quid to get it over here. And even if the tape is £7, that's still way too expensive for a cassette. And then you've got the limited runs of things as well. That always annoys me. Like there was a band that put something out, Wield and Woe I think they were called, and it was like castle themed black metal from the States, and it sounded fantastic. It has a bird on the cover, all arty, again art covers. But can you get it over here? No, you can't. And the shipping costs are horrendous, you know. And I was so tempted to nearly spend over 40 quid on an LP. And then my brain kicked in and went, don't ever do that because you'll be divorced. So I didn't buy it, obviously. But the temptation was unreal. And that is a constant thing for me. That is a real dick tease when it comes to buying music. When you see it over somewhere far, far away, and it's in your grasp, but the costs just outweigh the reality of actually owning just a piece of wax, isn't it, at the end of the day? So yeah, that's my reality of that. Oh, and another thing that pisses me off actually while I'm on the camera and talking about it is quotes from labels. If you have a label and I have to message you to get a quote for the cost of the vinyl and the shipping, and to check out your stock I have to get a document which is just fucking word text in a list that's not even bullet pointed, I ain't interested, because one, I've got to then sit there and read through it and kind of know what I want without seeing any cover art, which is normally what spurs me on to check it out in the first place. And it's just like, and then I have to Facebook message them and stuff like that, and it's just like, I don't want to be doing that. And then you get a quote and then you have to pay it, and then you have to do it via PayPal, which is fine, but I don't want to talk to people, especially people I don't know. I just want to buy your music off you and then be happy with that, you know. It's pros and cons to that when you think about it in a deeper way, but on the kind of fly, just rummaging through music online, you want to buy something, you know, it's really a massive ball ache. So that's my other gripe. But anyway, last cover from Mr. Pieface, Ferum, with their latest Asunder a Road, some Italian death metal, very doomy. Again, amazing artwork. This is done by Pablo Carradi. He's like an oil painter that does this style of art in like an oil painting setting, and it's just insane how cool they are. And there's so many bands that use his artwork now, so you can kind of build up a collection of his work alone really easily. So yeah, that is my video entry. Hopefully I haven't missed a deadline. I'm fairly sure I haven't. For Simon and Kris, awesome dudes. I love them both very much. They're awesome blokes in a non-homosexual way. They are top guys. In the meantime, please go and sub them. Don't worry about me. Go and support those guys. They are legends in their own right. And if you did watch this to the end, I really do appreciate it. Take care. Cheers.